The room was quiet, but my mind was not quiet at all. People and events from the day, business I needed to handle tomorrow, school notices from parents' groups, all of them rushed in at once. 30 minutes passed. I tossed and turned in bed. Then I started to wonder, am I going to have insomnia again? Many people evaluate sleep by looking at only two numbers: how long they slept and how much deep sleep they had. These two numbers are certainly important, but they are far from enough to explain sleep quality. Welcome back to DeepSleep Health Lab. In the previous episode, we discussed a very interesting topic, the structure of sleep. We learned the important roles played by different processes during sleep. Deep sleep mainly restores the body. Rapid eye movement sleep mainly organizes the brain and emotions. Light sleep is responsible for transition and stability. For a good night of sleep, none of these three processes can be missing. In this episode, let's continue with the next question. How should we evaluate our sleep quality? When we talk about this topic, I immediately think of my own sleep condition from a few years ago. At that time, I usually finished showering, turned off the lights, and got into bed at around 11:30 at night. Almost every night, the moment I lay down, I would tell myself, tonight I must go to sleep early. But bad habits are still habits. I would definitely pick up my phone. First, I would check whether there were any new messages. Then I would check tomorrow's weather. Then, almost without thinking, I would watch one or two short videos. Most of the time, I could not stop there, and I would just keep scrolling. By the time I struggled with myself for a long while and finally put the phone down, it was usually already 12:30. Then I closed my eyes. The room was quiet, but my mind was not quiet at all. People and events from the day, business I needed to handle tomorrow, school notices from parents' groups, all of them rushed in at once. 30 minutes passed. I tossed and turned in bed. Then I started to wonder, am I going to have insomnia again? After 1 o'clock in the morning, I finally drifted into sleep in a hazy state. Then, at some unknown point, I woke up again. I was not fully awake. I just looked at the time on my phone in a half-asleep state. 3:40. That one glance was really fatal, because then I started calculating again. How many hours have I slept? How many hours can I still sleep? The result was that the more I calculated, the more awake my brain became. At 7 in the morning, the phone alarm rang. I turned it off and went back to sleep. It rang again. I turned it off again. Finally, when I sat up, my first reaction was not, I slept enough. It was, why am I so tired again? I believe many people have experienced a sleep condition like the one I just described. Today, we are going to talk about exactly this. How should this kind of sleep quality be evaluated? Many people evaluate sleep by looking at only two numbers: how long they slept and how much deep sleep they had. These two numbers are certainly important, but they are far from enough to explain sleep quality. If we only look at deep sleep, it is like evaluating a meal by looking only at its protein content. If we only look at total duration, it is like evaluating a movie by looking only at how long the movie is. Sleep is not like charging a phone. When a phone charges from 20% to 90%, you only need to look at the battery level. Humans are different. When we sleep through the night, we are not only restoring energy, we are also organizing memories, regulating emotions, repairing tissues, stabilizing metabolism, and clearing away the brain's garbage information. So, to evaluate a person's sleep quality, we need to look at least 6 dimensions: total sleep duration, time to fall asleep, nighttime awakenings, regularity, daytime function, and the subjective feeling of recovery after waking. Next, let's go through them one by one. The first dimension, total sleep duration. For adults, it is usually reasonable to need 7 hours of sleep or more each night. Some people may say, "I sleep only 5 hours and I am fine. My sleep efficiency is very high." But when you say this, you need to be careful. Long-term sleep insufficiency can create a problem that is not easy to notice. It makes you less sensitive to the decline in your own condition. You think you have adapted. In reality, your judgment may be the first thing to decline. Your attention gradually weakens. Your reaction speed gradually slows. Your emotions become easier to ignite. Your appetite may start to prefer sweeter foods. These changes do not explode suddenly. They slowly move downward, day by day, month by month. Sleep duration is also related to age. Children and adolescents need more sleep because their bodies and brains are still developing. For adults, 7 to 9 hours is generally the common range. Older adults often sleep more lightly and more fragmentedly, but that does not mean they do not need sleep. For many older people, the need for sleep has not simply decreased. Rather, the sleep system has become easier to interrupt. Are there differences between men and women? Overall, women may be more affected during certain stages, such as menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause, because of hormonal fluctuations, temperature changes, and emotional stress. Men, on the other hand, more commonly experience problems such as snoring and sleep apnea. There is also a counterintuitive point. Sleeping too long is not necessarily good either. If someone sleeps 9 or 10 hours or more every day over the long term, and it is not because of heavy physical activity, illness recovery, or temporary catch-up sleep, then it deserves attention. It may be the body sending a signal: poor sleep quality, chronic inflammation, metabolic problems, or nighttime breathing issues. The second dimension, time to fall asleep. Generally speaking, falling asleep within 10 to 30 minutes after lying down is a common and natural state. After the lights are turned off, the body settles down. Body temperature begins to fall. The alert system gradually steps back, and the sleep system starts to take over. If you often lie down for 1 hour and still cannot fall asleep, that is not normal. It is often related to high stress, a mismatched body clock, or a vicious cycle of bed-related anxiety. The more you fear that you cannot sleep, the harder it becomes to sleep. The harder it becomes to sleep, the more you dislike going to bed. In the end, the bedroom no longer makes you relaxed. Instead, it makes you tense. But on the other hand, if you fall asleep with a snap within just a few minutes, do not rush to show off. This is often rapid sleep onset after excessive sleep deprivation. It means the brain has been caught by sleep debt and pressed straight down. Truly healthy sleep onset should feel more like a light gradually dimming until it gently goes out. There are also many people who fall asleep before 2 subway stops have passed, whose eyelids drop after 5 minutes in a meeting, or who black out before the opening credits of a movie are over. This often does not mean they are good at sleeping. It means their ability to stay awake can no longer hold up. In more serious cases, microsleep may even occur. The person still appears to be sitting there, but the brain has already gone offline. If this happens while driving, operating machinery, or making important decisions, it is no small problem. If it happens frequently, it is very necessary to seek medical advice. The third dimension, nighttime awakenings. Waking up once during the night is normal. Many awakenings are so brief that we do not even remember them. But if awakenings are frequent, or if you stay awake for a long time after waking, it suggests that you may be in a state of low-quality sleep. There are many reasons for frequent nighttime awakenings. Stress and anxiety can certainly wake you repeatedly. Alcohol can also do this. It may make you groggy in the first half of the night, then cause rebound wakefulness in the second half. Other causes may include nighttime urination, gastroesophageal reflux, itchy skin, or environmental problems. There is another cause that must be taken seriously: sleep apnea. We have mentioned this concept in several episodes already. It often appears as snoring or waking up while gasping. Many people think snoring means someone is sleeping well. But sometimes, it is actually the body repeatedly sounding an alarm during the night. Every time breathing is blocked, the brain may be pulled up slightly from deeper sleep. You may not fully wake up, but the sleep structure has already been cut into pieces. So, when judging sleep quality, do not only ask, "How long did I sleep?" Also ask, "Was this sleep continuous?" A whole piece of glass and a pile of broken glass may weigh the same, but their practical value is completely different. The fourth dimension, regularity. Sleep has one indicator that is often underestimated: regularity. When you wake up at roughly the same time every day and fall asleep at roughly the same time every night, the body gradually forms a rhythm. At the right time, you become sleepy. At the right time, you wake up. The stomach and intestines, body temperature, hormones, and attention also begin to follow the same schedule. You may find that truly stable people are often not dragged out of a dream by an alarm clock in the morning. They are closer to waking naturally. Then what if a person regularly goes to sleep at 3 a.m. and wakes up at 11 a.m.? If this has become a stable habit, is it acceptable? The answer is, if that person's work, social life, light exposure, and eating schedule can all fully match this rhythm, then in the short term, it may not necessarily be terrible. But in reality, that is very difficult. The sun rises in the morning. The people around us generally live according to a daytime rhythm. A person whose life rhythm is different from the majority is more likely to experience a conflict with the body clock. Weekend catch-up sleep is a typical example. Many people do not sleep enough from Monday to Friday. So on Saturday, they sleep until almost noon and feel very satisfied. But then on Sunday night, they cannot fall asleep again. It is as if the person never left the country, but their body clock is already suffering from jet lag. By Monday morning, getting up feels exhausting. Regularity does not mean that you must be perfectly punctual every day. It means giving your body a roughly stable boundary. Among all timing anchors, the most important one is wake-up time. If our wake-up time is basically stable, then the time we meet the morning light also becomes stable. Breakfast becomes more stable, and sleepiness at night is much more likely to arrive on time. The fifth dimension, daytime function. If I could choose only one of the most practical indicators of sleep quality, I would choose daytime function. After waking up in the morning, is your mind clear? During work in the morning, can your attention remain stable? In the afternoon, do you feel like a phone with only 3% battery left? When talking with others, do you become impatient more easily? Can an ordinary sentence suddenly sound offensive to you? The benefits of high-quality sleep are very visible. First, emotions are more stable. You are less likely to cross the line. Second, attention lasts longer. You can follow one task from beginning to end, instead of opening your computer and switching through 7 windows in less than 10 minutes. Third, appetite becomes easier to manage. When the brain is short on sleep, it tends to prefer high-sugar, high-fat, strongly flavored foods because it is looking for something that can quickly supply energy. Fourth, exercise performance improves and the body recovers faster. Fifth, memory and learning become smoother. Sleep is like the brain's organizer. It refiles the information from the day, making the structure clearer. The sixth dimension, the feeling of recovery after waking. In the morning, when we ask someone who has just woken up, "How did you sleep?" what we are really trying to understand is, after a night of sleep, how well has the body recovered? So, one core indicator of sleep quality is this: did sleep help you return to a version of yourself that is more stable, more clear-headed, and more like who you really are? Finally, let's turn today's content into a simple self-check. First, duration. On most nights, can you sleep around 7 hours or more? Second, sleep onset. Can you usually fall asleep within about 10 to 30 minutes? Third, continuity. Do you rarely stay awake for a long time during the night? Fourth, regularity. Are your wake-up time and bedtime generally stable? Fifth, daytime function. Are you clear-headed during the day, emotionally stable, and able to maintain enough attention? Sixth, recovery. After waking, do you feel that your body and brain have at least partly recovered? If the answer to most of these 6 questions is yes, congratulations. Your sleep quality is probably quite good. If 2 or 3 of them are no over the long term, then you need to pay some attention. But there is no need to panic. You can start with the most basic adjustments: fixing your wake-up time, getting morning light, drinking less coffee, reducing work-related stimulation before bed, and improving your sleep environment. If most of your answers are no, and the problem has not improved for a long time, then do not rely only on self-adjustment. Take good care of yourself. Seek professional evaluation from a doctor or a sleep specialist as early as possible. At the end of today's episode, I want to leave you with one question that is worth asking every night before sleep. Can I give my body a night in which it feels more at ease? Perhaps this is where the evaluation of sleep quality truly begins. If you believe this episode is helpful to you and to others, please like and subscribe. As always, we will continue to focus on your sleep health